Hey y'all, it's another day. We're gonna go back at it. If you got this far, you probably have a sense of what's going on, so I'm not even gonna do the whole preamble today. Let's just do what we're doing. Shuffleboard, VS Code, dive right into it. I want to talk a little bit about sort of a mini deadline that's coming up because I'm going on this trip that I mentioned last time. And so we got this like deadline in my head of a reasonable milestone by the end of next week. So what is that? Man, I hate deadlines, I think, is one thing. Deadlines are the worst. Like, I don't like people, telling me what to do, even if it's me. This imposing, doomsday cutoff line. But I will say, for deadlines, that they tend to inspire getting things done. And so, even in my own little projects, I'm kind of looking for ways to put in little motivators or deadlines for myself. And some of them are real. Like for this one, I'm going to be physically gone, so I'm not going to have access to people who I can sit down with and test my app with. And so maybe I want to get something like that going soon. Yeah, like these projects are like our little babies. And I feel like a deadline is just like maybe some of the emotional underpinnings of the deadline thing. It's just that it reminds us that like this thing has to eventually not, that the thing in front of us that we're making is actually the real one, not the beautiful version in our head. And that it's forcing us to make like the tough decisions about priority and quality and like actually getting things out the door. It's like an anti-perfectionism mechanism, So I'm just gonna like deal with my deadline right now a little bit. So let's look at our list. Before private meeting test. End of next. Let's try to do some. So by June 14. By the way, you don't have to like if you're running deadlines yourself, you don't have to like hit every deadline. But just having them is often good enough. This is just a private meeting test. I'm actually going to bump secure down one more bump. We do need the rough UI style so people can generally see how this thing works. So we had issue with rules last time. So they can join. We're going to mark this complete, but we need a new one, which is participants can see the board without brief next buttons. And this might be in its own view, which I kind of want to do, or it could just be a condition. That's an important thing to have here. Maybe another one is participants can't see other people's answers until time is up. So we might want like a new slide for each slide that's like a view slide or a mode on each slide. Not really sure. This would be nice to have. Okay, so walk through the app with a tester, let's say for now. That's our test. Ooh, they're milestones, but I'm not pro, so I don't get them. Okay, so this isn't just an engineering backlog. This is like my whole company backlog. So what do I need to do? I need to recruit some participants. Recruit early alpha tester. You usually hear a lot about beta testing, but since you're seeing under the covers, behind the curtain, so to speak, We're not in beta testing. We're in alpha testing. We're in whatever comes before alpha testing. And that's ready now. All right. Let's see. So we're gonna recruit for this. Bring back Jason, who did such an amazing job, and he could sort of walk through where we're at. And that might give us something. But what we're showing in code is actually going to be less than what he saw in design. And, do I really just need like a person, like a body in a seat to see if the functionality is working or broken? I should have it pretty bug-free by the time they use it. And even if it's not, I don't care. I'd rather have somebody else who's going to be similar to my user test this thing out. So I have a couple ideas. One, we'll call them B, project manager. Another one, so I know a couple people at agencies in town who might be helpful. I'm going to call one J and one D. And so I hope if I send out 3 quick emails to folks, I bet I can get somebody to help find a time with me locally. Okay, so let's start out with, I'm gonna start with J and D because they're both in running agencies, or involved in agencies rather, and have at least the influence enough to be able to help us out. So I think I'll start with this, like, hey, D, hey, well, we just talked, so I'm gonna say, hey, by the way, I'm working on a new product. I'm gonna say an experimental, because this is definitely experimental stage. Product for designers and product teams. Writing this stuff is so hard. I don't know why. I mean, I know these people. It's just a struggle. I didn't do this when I was writing Jason, but in hindsight I should have, maybe because it's part of running the company. Any chance, this person doesn't work, so any chance you'll be in Ann Arbor next week? Been to a 30 to 60 minute interview / product test. Excuse me. Sessions for YouTube. I'm working on I guess this person is around Ann Arbor. I live in Ann Arbor, by the way. That's why I'm working. Hey, I might have told this person about this, so hey, I forget if I told you that. I don't know why I'm writing these differently. I just feel like they're different people, and I would write these differently. This is people I know, so. just like deadlines, recruiting test subjects for me sometimes is like an emotional experience, especially because I know these people. Actually, that makes it easier, I think, to some degree. But I just like while I'm writing this, I'm thinking like I'm gonna have to show my beautiful little project to other people, and like what if they don't like it? And what if it's just kind of like asking somebody to prom a little bit. Maybe that's what we're doing it, but yeah, it's just it's not the writing the note because I talk to these people all the time, but it's just getting I'm imagining like this product and getting it out there and thinking like, ooh, I don't want to waste anybody's time, and I don't want to sort of deal with some of the issues that might come up when they test a product. But I've done this enough times to know that feeling is normal. It always happens. The tests are always incredibly valuable, as we saw with Jason. So at some point you just gotta hit send. I'm gonna put that on the back burner, send it out in a little bit. That on my old desktop. All right, guys. So, in progress there. I just want to wait till it's a little later to send it out. Participants can see it. All right, I'm gonna give myself a little reward for working on recruiting by going back and getting some execution on our app here. And so, I'm thinking about what these people need to be able to do to be able to actually use this stuff. Maybe it's still early, I guess. Kind of early. I never see it this wide because I'm always doing this. Let's do the thing where we give it myself my own space. There we go. Oh, I can't add a default value. See, all these sprint retros are just piling up. I think I want to bring back window.prompt. Let's do a couple things. I'm just going to do a couple quick ones here. I say that now, it might not be true, but yeah, I can still do it though. What is this? Is this some new thing? I don't know what that is. Tool's just changing on me. Cancel. Well, that didn't work. There we go. Should have gotten rid of that in the first place. Okay. Participants can see a board without previous next button. So like if we have our, another person using this thing. Oh, did I road break it? They shouldn't be able to do this because it's going to break. We don't want them moving back and forth. So we could do a conditional here where we just make it the slide manager doesn't show based off the owner, but I think, these are kind of different enough screens that I want to make a participant view. I think it just makes sense. I'm going to call it well, when somebody comes to it, it's going to be like join. That's like the URL, so we can just call it join. So this is I should probably be structuring these differently. Like that should just go right to board, and board should just have a board wrapper, board container around it. Now don't worry about it later. So this should say welcome to the meeting. There's a very different vibe here. Am I going to have to duplicate all of these? I really hope not. This is different too. It's not a takeover. Our slide manager can be the same. Rename this. This might be all too much for one big commit, but I'm going to do some kind of kooky stuff. I'm going to say this is part of presenting, and presenting has two modes inside it. Share. Sure. And join. Share will be the facilitator essentially, and join will be the other stuff. This is now a div. So like all the stuff here, this slide, that's share specific, but we need a join version too. The join version has the, I'm going to say yes to all these and see what happens. Join slide. I think card is universal, board container. I might have to blow all this away, I'm just trying it out. This is specific to join. I'm just going to fix this all later anyway. So I'm going to say, thank you, everyone. So the join welcome is just going to be like, hang tight. So this is the same for everything. These are both specific to share. Is this really, this is, no. I'm glad we're organizing this because I'm getting confused. So they join, this is all the same. Or rather, the presenter, this is all the same. They get to a board. This needs to be share container. Okay, so they go to share. Share container. It's the same. Share container, share, slide manager. hand, but I think I can still wrangle it. I should have refactored this first and just gotten it to be like where these things can wrap each other. I'm just gonna see what happens if I start it. This is just too messy, but we'll see what happens. Oh, there's gonna be too many of those. This should really be not duplicated. This is becoming too messy. I think we need to do this eventually. This makes sense, but I'm not sure now that I've got this deadline on me that just reorganizing all this and having a billion different things here and spending my time learning how to do better encapsulation of components in React is like worth my time, because this is startup mode. The other option I have is just going back to the original slide manager. Where is that? And put in one line of code here that says if they're on the if they're in join, don't show these lines. So I think I'm going to blow away all that stuff. How long have I been at it? Half an hour? Shit. It's a long time. I think I just need to do the simpler version and move on for now. And then take it piece by piece. We gotta go. We just don't have time. If I was better at this, we would be able to just burning through it. Okay, we're back where we started. Things are working, but we got this issue with the previous next. So how about we take a little bit of a smaller bite? Route path boards, excuse me. So we're just gonna do this. We're gonna make it so join is a separate URL, but it does the same thing. It sends you right to boards. And then in our slide manager, we're going to just check for the URL. Path name. Second path name. Dot index. It's just a condition to show these only in that situation. No. Broke it for the wrong person. This is going to be present. So now they're stuck. They can't do anything. Ooh, that didn't work. Because we need to make it so when you go to a board, okay, so now if I do this, they're coming with me on my joyride, but they can't control it. Can they do this? So they can add things. I can add things too if I want, but they can't go back and forth. I still have an X, and that's not going to go anywhere for them. It's got to be a condition 2. Copy and paste in code. Not great. Could be worse. Okay, good. Hacky version, but it works. They can go back. You can go back into it. Everything's saved. All right, good. That was quicker. Not as pretty, but it needed to happen. I think we successfully dodged a rabbit hole. Well, a little bit. Alright, that was in progress. Now it's done. Okay, we'll work on these a little bit, maybe. I gotta get going pretty soon. I think I'll have to check my schedule, actually. But I'm gonna take a quick break just in case and make sure the screen recording is still going because it tends to die. Okay, we're back. So we got that one done. Let's go back to our recruiting. We need to get that going before we wrap up today. That's like our main deal. So sometimes I like to write these letters and just like read them a bit in a minute. I didn't write Becky's, I want to do that. Or mystery persons. Hey, hope you're doing well. I'm working on a little project for Sprint, a little side project to help people with Sprint retrospectives. Any chance you're free to meet and give feedback in A2? I don't know why I'm writing instructions. This is the key issue here. Zero pressure for this person. Any chance for this person? Kind of asking Jay. Okay. I think those are good. So we just got to get them out. Let's do that. So I'm going to pull up Slack here and open this channel called Made in A2. Just thinking about what the best way to get in touch with these guys. Well, no, let's just do mail for most of these. So I'm not going to actually show you my screen while I send these because I don't want these people's personal information to be in my video. But you are just going to have to believe that I'm doing it. Ooh, that's slow. It's probably Slack. Go away, Slack. All right, copy. Ooh, I don't know. Personal email. You gotta get B's personal email or not use email. No, I haven't. 1 is out. B's is sent. Now we're going to send J's. Sent. Last one, going for this 1 to D. Sent. Okay. So those are done. You know, you just got to do it. Just got to get it out. That's what I like to do when I'm doing something that's like uncomfortable, like exposing my baby product to all these other people. It's just like write a draft, take a break, come back, just get it done, and then it's over. All right. So. Hey, we're recruiting early alpha testers. I don't want to do a ton more recruiting than that. I think 3 people, there's a decent enough chance one of them is going to have a slot open next week that I can fit into that will work for me, and then they'll let me record it. So if it doesn't work, then we won't have hit our deadline, but that's okay. I want to focus back on the app. We can always do remote testing and test with people on the road or something. Okay. So what's next? This whole liking thing. I mean, I think we could do either of these. Which one of these is more? Which one of these would I rather have for a walkthrough with a tester? Are we good on time and everything? Yeah. Okay, so they get in, we talk about. Oh, do you know what the thing that might be useful? Users can see reports of previous meetings. I think this is going to be confusing now that we've broken this board into 2 things. Like, there's a tester. I think we want one more view. Do I want to have to deal with that refactoring to do this, though? Now that I've refactored, do I feel like I understand this better? I mean, I guess what I really want this to be is something like this. Which gives us what? Auth, board, and slides. And then just do like all this, you know. Do I want to do this? Is this the way? So how would it work? I'd do that. I just don't want to have to deal with all this nasty stuff right now. Maybe that's not a good reason, but it's not, I don't think that's really the thing that's like, well, could I just build this? How easy would this be to just make? Basically what we'd be doing is adding a thing here called boards again. And just showing them an actual board container. No, it's too much, it's too wacky. We'll get to it, but this liking is interesting. I mean, the dot voting is a pretty important part of like these design meetings. I'm going to save this for one big day. How would this work? Let's do likes. I'm feeling it. So this Firefly project that I made before that I've been using this to reuse some patterns for, it's got a similar thing. So there's posts and you can like posts. And there's like a like button component. So what it does is, well, let's just put it in, see what happens. Put in React Firestore collection. You can like and unlike cards in this world. And so for the like button, a like button is going to be on a card. And we're going to first check to see if there's somebody logged in. If they're not, the like button is going to be disabled. Card likes. So basically we're just, first of all, checking if they're logged in. If they're not, or there's an error or something, if we're loading, we just don't show, we'd show the disabled button. If, now we go and get all the likes on this card by the person who's logged in, which there should be 1 or 0. And again, if there's an error or it's loading or something, we show a disabled thing. Now, if there is something, error is loading data. Now we're going to get something. If there is something to get, then we should let them unlike it by clicking this thing. Otherwise, we should let them like the card when they click this button. And the options will be like or unlike. Seems to make a lot of sense. Okay, so I think that makes sense. Let's keep this like button component and let's put it on cards. Simple as that. Okay, so it's pulling it in, but it knows that there's no actions called like and unlike stuff. So we need a like card and an unlike card. What should those do? I think they're just going to throw in some very basic items in our database. So there's going to be a thing called a like. Well, let's not pull over the whole thing. What do we got here? I'm not going to use this yet. You know that. Like post. That's all we really need, because this is going to take care of who did it. And this is called our store collection card likes. Okay. Without unliking it. It's going to pass a like. I don't know if that returns a promise, but I think it does. We'll see. I don't know if it should be like. Should be a reaction, you know? It's really reacting, because we might want other reactions, and I just feel like calling it a like right now is a little bit restrictive. Just making sure we don't have instances of posts and likes going on. We got plenty of them though. Okay, this is going to be that's actually a card. That makes no sense, huh? No. Okay, so we got buttons there, but it ain't working. I'm guessing we obviously need some, there's probably some errors because we haven't allowed any rules for you to actually look at these. Yep, there's a, no. Error in the collection because we're not getting it. It's probably going to be missing or insufficient permissions. Yep. So we just need to add some rules. It says, hey, you can like stuff. Okay. All right. We're going to allow them to delete too. Let's write a test for it. This is not testing what we wanted to test. I think this one's good. Actually, we don't want them to update these at all. Let's just create and delete. So we have delete testing here. We have create, read. That's what we really need, just this. Like trying to move too fast, and it's just not, I'm not even really paying enough attention to the job. Okay, so logged in users can read any card reaction. Alice is logged in. She's gonna get all, the cards are all the cards. She gets them, that should work. Logged in users can create a board. So there's Alice, user, card reactions, Alice user collection, card reactions. She should be able to add one as long as it says created by Alice. She should not be able to add one if she says it's created by Bob. Logged in users cannot write cards they did not write. We're not worrying about writing cards. Logged in users can delete their own card reactions. Two users, Alice and Bob. Alice, we're going to create a card reaction by Alice, and we're going to create a card reaction by Bob. Now, we're going to reference those. Look at that. Alice card reaction is the card reaction that we said from Alice. we could maybe just say that up top. I don't know. Yeah, that's going to return a doc. That should return a doc reference. Oh, well, that shouldn't work, so let's not do that. Okay, let's see what happens. All right, we got some failures. Oh, we didn't actually push this thing yet. Let's. I'm not sure if I have to restart this after pushing, but find out. I think it might be time to make these cards just a little more card-like if we're going to do a test. I know that's getting into styles a little bit, but I could do like width. You know? We'll worry about that later. It's kind of cool how those collapse and get all weird like that. Neato. Running the test. Okay, still got some errors. Let's see what we got. Whoa, oh my god. Okay. So card reactions, these are failing. Logged in users can read any card reaction. No matching allows. Can I just, is it clear? Oh, what I do? I just want a fresh one here. Okay. Boards, slides, all good. Cards reactions. Logged in users can read any card reaction. That right away, that's failing. Well, so we knew there was some low-hanging fruit. Send it up. Do we even need to do that? Oh my god, they all worked. Great. I guess we don't. So we'll stop that. I'm sure we could write better tests for this later, but I'm going to call it good for now. Okay. What's the result? What do we got? Okay, so, and if we go to console, tell Mike. Database, we're gonna have nothing in the way of card reactions. What if I hit this? Oops, couldn't react to this card. Machine or insufficient permission. Oh, because I canceled the push. Here goes nothing. Oh, look at how that one's got a thing and these don't. Oh my God, this is getting good. Look. Okay. The reason is because I'm allowed to like this one. Because I made it. But I didn't make these. My other user made these. I'm pretty sure. That's cool. Just does it. So I got a card reaction by me, Jay, on this card. It's not showing up much. Let me just make it a little more obvious if I've liked this thing or not. Would it work if I had it being 333? Yeah, it would. So it's not recognizing that I've got a like on it right now. So that's one little bug. Yeah, so it's not recognizing that I have a like here. Now I've got two of them, I think. Too many. Is that disabled? All right, something broke. Error. Permissions denied. Missing or insufficient permissions. Why? Is it because I deleted everything? Oh, it still says likes. We got to eradicate this like situation. Weird. Okay, debugger. Will it just work? Yeah, of course that old thing shouldn't have worked because you should be able to like anybody's card. Nice, look at that. Here's our debugger. Get Nancy. I can like people's cards. That's real neat. But can we make it so that we can show how many people have liked these cards? Like, that would make more sense to show how many reactions each card got. I'm gonna do it in a second. Quick break. Okay, we're cooking with gas now. We got these reactions happening. Boop. This is cool. So you can like reactions. Now, that's good. Let's get this locked down. Let's just get it committed. there's more things we want to do with these reactions. We want to show how many people actually like them. That's kind of a crucial piece of this, but we don't need to do it right away. All right, I really want to make this better. But I can't because I'm not letting myself do styles, and that's just gonna take forever. Okay, reactions. So we've added some rules for card reactions. I think I'm going to make it so the card reactions have a type. We can always get rid of this, but I think it's more than likely that we'll have other types of card reactions, and the default will be like. I'm just going to make that a thing, which means I got to go delete all these. Should probably make a script for that or something. Okay. Cards now have better styles and reaction button. Reaction button, it's a whole thing. Let's give it a little more test. If I look at, well, that won't work. I think it's good. All right, we're calling it. Bam. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. But now we need a new one. Users can see which cards have how many So I'm going to make these two separate ones. This one I think we need to do next because this, see how many likes each card has, is fairly straightforward, and I think it's getting to most of the use case. Now order, like, people want to see that. Ordered by number of likes is good, but it just requires kind of a lot. So I'm just going to move it, I'm going to demote that, because I think I have to use a backend function to effectively do that, and we'll worry about it later. People can see how many likes each card has. So in card, and this is probably not the place to do it. Just gonna we're gonna ask for some stuff. We're gonna throw a Firebase collection in there. We don't need the auth info. We're gonna throw a Firebase collection in. Path card reactions where card ID equals that. We don't need to restrict to the user here. It's just anybody. Irrelevant. About that in a second. This is a weird way of doing it. If you don't know what that means, I can't blame you. It's a little funky. It just basically says, show how many items there are. So if there's one, it'll say, if there's two, it'll say 2 likes. If it's 0, it'll say 0 likes. If it's 10, it'll say 10 likes. But if it's 1, you don't want it to say 1 likes, you want it to say 1 like. So we're going to say like, and then only if data.length is not equal to 1 are we going to add an S there. And this is all going to go right here. We're cluttering this up a bit, but you know what? It's all good. Keeping me honest. All right. 0 likes. Ooh, 1 like. False. That's no good. 1 like, 0 likes, 1 like. Now, what if we present this? What if we go to our, if we go to this guy here? This has 1 like. Now it has 2 likes, and everybody knows it. This just has 1. Hey guys, that's going swimmingly. The one thing I want to do is, all right, we got to fix the card because it's just too damn ugly. Is it really width 20 pixels? It's not serving us anymore at this point. Oh, that's... Oh. Was this all inside this thing? I think it is. Yeah, we put this whole thing inside of the user. Not necessary. That's not where we want this. We want this elsewhere. This is not a big deal. Like, you'd figure it out once I think you'd figure it out pretty quickly once you had real styles in there. And we're just not worrying about it right now, so it doesn't really matter where it goes. That's better. I mean, not much better. Okay, cool. Well, we're kind of cranking through some features now. This is good. I kind of don't want to stop if we're really going. Participants can't see other people's answers until time is up. How will we do that? This whole slide manager situation, I know this is going to have to change because it's just getting too nasty with all this stuff. It would basically be an additional bit of state here. Each board has slides. The slides can have their own state, which is done or not done, basically. Like gathering input or not gathering input. And the slide manager has to manage that too. It's not just managing which slide we're on, it's managing, are we on any slide? If so, what slide? And of that slide, what mode? So it's really like a board state manager, which might mean it just should be like board container board manager or something. I'm tempted to just start burning through other fun features here, but maybe now that we've got all this stuff in our head, we should just think about how we're going to organize this section so that we can actually build this future stuff like in a much better way. How can we just take some small stabs at refactoring this so it's a little bit more sane? One thing I was wondering about is, do we even need a slides thing here? Because templates are just have the slides hard-coded. Like, is it really important who created the slides if we know who created the board? And the board ID attribute doesn't really do much because if it's on the board, we don't need that. And the prompt is just a piece of text. So really, we could do it this way instead. You could add a whole collection here, or you could just add a field of type array. And this is type map. And it's got a prompt. Hi, Bob. And then they're ordered here. And I don't have to have a whole new rule and that matches the template. We should probably do that. And like, we've gotten some features done today. Maybe it's time to just think about a refactor here. Okay, so who's this? If we did this, who's going to be affected here? Well, we just, these rules are the same, right? Yeah, so we would just get rid of the rules. And since we were using get, we don't have to we'll just pretend we're doing it. Oh, look at that. We don't need to worry about the transaction if we just add the slides. Look at this. Oh my God, if we did this thing, how would this work? Watch this. Oh, read them and weep. This is gonna be beautiful. Create board. Oh my God, watch this. Because the template already has the slides, right? Yeah. Oh my God. I think that's how that would work. Oh, that is just too good. Nope, I'm not even done yet. Ooh, this is a good idea. We'll just get rid of code. Like, shoot, my phone just died.
All right, guys. I gotta run out of space on my phone. Be right back.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's get back to it. So what we were doing was trying to see if we could get rid of our screens collection and just make it part of a board. Screens. Slide. Not even in the right. Okay, sometimes, sometimes it's not your day. Slides. Okay, slides here. This is just getting slides and sending slides. It doesn't care where they're from. All right, board container, path. So this is going to change. We don't need to get this stuff. So that would make that way simpler. And look, we're just cleaning, we're just simmering it down real nice. Okay. I mean, slides, we don't even need to be passing slides as a thing anymore. Oh, this is all going away. Oh my God, this is like the best ever. When you delete code, it's just the best thing ever. So board is going to get a board and it's going to show slide manager. So I don't even want to pass slides. I don't want a board to get slides. I just want it to get board.slides. We could do this. Or we could just say slide manager is really board state. So I'm going to just say, you don't even get that. Slide manager. That's how this works now. Slides. We don't want to sort them by date anymore. We're going to let them sort them eventually, so we just don't even need that. And this is a lot simpler, so we can just do this now. We'll know what it means. Oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Okay, so the only person that even cares now is the slide manager. So let's see where this looks for slides. Slides. Should all be the same. Let's just see what happens. I'm gonna get rid of all these. I'm still me. The other one's me too. This isn't gonna work anymore because they're not on slide. Oh, I wanna just double check. I forget if I did that already. To do some point. I got rid of that sort. Unnamed board. Okay. So I think when we're creating this, there's some weird stuff going on. Doesn't make sense anymore. So we looked for slides. We weren't looking for slide. This is important. This is now board. Yeah, this we gotta fix this. Okay, create card on. How do you create a card? It needs a slide ID. Oh, I miss slide IDs now. Ah, crap! Because you need to put a card on the slide. So the slide still needs to have an ID. So watch this. We're just going to make a random one. We'll see if there's like some way to just get a random ID. That's strange. Do I really want to do that? I could make a real one. Wait, shouldn't it be UUID? I think that might be a different thing. Let's do that. Can't we just do math.random for now? So when you create a thing, these slides are going to have IDs now. This is, I guess, one consequence that isn't as nice because you have to have both of these in here. We're going to do it the right way. Slide container. Who's calling slide container? This is getting a little out of hand. I guess it's good to have that context all the way down though. Which means our create card needs this. All right. Do we really need this anymore? Oh, we still do. Okay, slide manager, this is the real one. I think we already did this though. What happens if we try it? Still not naming that board. I feel like that's what we did to fix it last time. So that can't be it. Yeah, that ain't it. Name. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Clearly the boards are getting not named. Oh, those IDs are terrible. I don't really want that, do I? How easy is it to clear the database? Yeah, but how? That was dumb. Firebase. Hold on, real quick. Let's just be super sure. Okay, yeah, I do that. How do I, okay, just do it. All right, we'll try it. All right, that's what we want. Okay, yeah, nothing. Should be user in there now. Yeah, okay, cool. So let's just add that to our arsenal here. Back to it. Okay. Create board. Okay, that works. Oh. Is that it? Yep, that was it. Okay. Okay, so I can create this thing and go into it. I can create stuff. I can like it. What was not good? That can be done. think we've got a system here. So what was good and then what was not good. So let's get rid of this. Let's go in here. Let's go to our board and let's find that stuff. Slides, what was good, what was not good. Can I rearrange these? No, I don't suppose I can. Still. So we've got rid of a whole top of a collection, which is nice. We've got 2 boards, they've got 2 different names. And this one has a template attribute. We don't. See, that's what we don't want. Created by, created on. There's a current slide attribute, name, slides, updated on, by and on. What's good? This seems good to me. Let's commit it up. So, much simpler. Much simpler. A little more complex. A little more complex. I guess the slightly more complex. It's just slightly. Much simpler. A little bit more complex. Just a little bit more. Going at the same. And we got rid of this. That's great. So boards. All right, so, I think we're kind of going through and doing some healthy refactoring to sort of understand how things work, getting the data model right. Takes time, it's not always easy to get right on the first shot. I don't think we had anything there for this. We don't really get to mark any stories off. Something was worth doing. Let's see, I still want to spend the rest of the time I have today just kind of refactoring this stuff. If there's anything I can do here to help this just go a little smoother, I would like to do it. So the first thing is this board container. It shows a board. And a slide manager. Maybe are these combinable? Okay, so what do I want? I have 2 sections. I have presenting and join, which is going to be for participants. So join is going to have It's hard to think when you know you're being recorded on video. Maybe this is a better case for just a local. So which ones of these are going to be abstracted away? This board container where you get their auth and then get their board, get the board, could be abstracted. These are not. This is not. Could be. But doesn't have to be. Super simple, so not. The only thing that's really shared is the slide manager. I think maybe that's the case. So this slide manager, this is the one we need to abstract away. So let's just chip away at that a little bit. Start with the clean slate. So who's point in slide manager? Board is. So instead of welcome slide, we're going to say this dot props welcome slide. Instead of goodbye slide, we're going to say this dot props dot goodbye slide. Just to start. Now we don't need these anymore. Slide manager doesn't know what it's going to show for hello and goodbye, but board does. It knows what it wants the slide manager to do. And, so that's a start. So now we're getting closer to the slide manager, not really knowing or caring. Well, should the slide manager even be abstracted? Because it's got a lot of attributes like previous slide and next slide that we don't need on the other one. You might need this. You don't need any of that. I mean, this logic we could reuse it, but I don't know if we should abstract this at all, guys, because this whole previous next thing. All right, new idea. What? Clean slate. This presenting thing. We're gonna duplicate the whole thing, and maybe it won't even be that similar. Whoa. That's right. We just went wild. We're going nuts with it. We got a whole new thing here. So board is not board. Board is join. You don't have a takeover layout. It's just a div. We have a slide manager, but it's its own slide manager. So we're just going to go bit by bit and start knocking them out. Board container. It's now join container. Probably going to regret this later, but I think it's going to really move us forward for a long time, and we might get a lot of mileage out of this system. Before it's just like silly that we have to potentially have duplicate code. I'm not even sure we will though. Sometimes I have to like split things out and then you can merge them rather than splitting them into abstraction right from the go. It's hard to describe. Those are bad error messages. Okay, did that. Don't need that. We need an input box. We do need an input box. Join container. Card, okay. This stuff should all be the same. So we don't need none of this. Slide that up. The other thing is that all these styles are going to be pretty different. We haven't done any of that yet, but I just know that that's going to be the case. Now down here it's going to get a little wild because we don't really need an input box. We'll keep it in there. Maybe that would, I mean, it's easy for testing, and maybe somebody is going to want to add something as the facilitator, but it's not really the priority. All right, so I mean, maybe that would be how it works. What if we do that? What if we say, it's not that anymore. It is origin/join/ID. Oh, that's not what we're doing right now. I have a feeling we're going to need this in divide too. I should not be that. That should not be how that. Whatever. We're showing presenting. Okay. And for this join thing, I don't even know if I need reading name. Makes me a little nervous to have all these duplicate stuff, but it's not really that duplicate. We just need to name it better. No, that's silly. I don't know if we really, I really don't know if we need this. Each, I don't know if there's anything global on our join experience. just like to do this. Okay. One thing we could do to distinguish these, actually, if we go to our board here, welcome slide. We could do this. That's okay. Okay, check this out. It's about to get wild. We can do. Would this work? Hey, look, it's even showing who's hosting the meeting. That's cool. right, so now you can copy link. You get a little better here. All right. It's time to wrap it up. So what have we done? What have we done? We've got a new separate section for participants. That's really the main deal here. Should I rename anything while we're at it? Presenting. It's no longer a board. It's the join experience or the presenter experience. I'm going to rename this to like presenting. Gives me to those over. Okay. Okay. Look, it's happening. That one's work in progress. I don't know if we had a separate section here because I think we said we could get away without it, but I'm glad we went through and did some refactoring. All this other stuff. Let's do just to get it up. Doesn't really matter, just could have it. Before private meeting, user can see a report of previous meeting. So now that we have this separate section, we can actually do that. And that's ready. Participants can't see other answers until other people's answers. Time is up. That'd be a good one. The one we really definitely need to have before a private meeting is these UI styles. It needs to be just good enough that people can use it. And I think we're actually pretty close, surprisingly, but I just want to do a little bit of polish. So we'll probably, kick in some, we'll probably trigger some styles work pretty soon. Just the roughest of rough to get it there. seen it. I mean, there's a couple other things that would be good to have for this test. But if I had to do the test tomorrow, I could. I think I could. So that's good. Technically, we're set up for that. So let's have the test. We'll probably have that. I'll probably try to collect all that stuff along with Jason's feedback and have another round of just like getting things polished design-wise. Maybe we can talk about brand, some other fun stuff, and then we'll sort of try to get this thing wrapped up product-wise. I mean, we got some work to do here. We got to be able to create custom templates and things before we can really launch. But actually, maybe that's just really a launch, not a private beta thing. Plenty more work to do, but this thing is a thing. It's like a thing now. You can like go on this thing and use it. Okay, pretty good day. See y'all later.